arbetade med att förbereda dagens lektioner. År 1991 var stationen endast igång från 18:30 till 22:30 peruansk tid. I det brev som jag fick från stationen berättar man att man då planerar att inom kort börja sända även på mellanvåg. Allt sedan starten på 80-talet hade radiosatellite endast sänd på kortvåg. På radiosatellite dominerade guayno-musiken totalt. Det är en typisk andinsk musik och dansstil som är speciellt populär i Peru och då framförallt i landets norra delar där Quichua-indianer utgör folkmajoriteten. Guayno-musiken har sitt ursprung i det koloniala Peru och det är en blandning av traditionell folkmusik och mer urban dansmusik. De grupper som spelar guayno-musik använder sig av flera olika instrument, varav quena, en slags flöjt, är speciellt viktig. Vi ska nu lyssna till sången Que linda flor, eller vackra blomma på svenska, med artisten Victor Manuel. Den vackra blomman är naturligtvis en ung Quichua-kvinna. När sången klingar ut är världens kortaste musikprogram slut.
I början på 1970-talet sträckte upp ett nytt så kallat piratradiofartyg den här gången i Nordsjön utanför Hollands kust. Radio Nordsjö som sände både på engelska och holländska.
Medium wave band at 220 meters, 1360 kilohertz, in the 49-meter shorter wave band at 6205 kilohertz, and on VHF, channel 44 at 100 megahertz. Radio North International, the voice of Europe, the sound of the world.
Dynamite! 1980 träffade jag Leo van der Voort som arbetar på stationens fartyg Nebo 2. Leo arbetade då på Radio Veronica, ett annat piratradiofartyg som också stoppades av en ny lag, men som då hade fått tillstånd att sända från land. Hur startade då hans radiointresse?
Yeah, why does somebody start radio? I lived in Amsterdam and I lived in Amsterdam all my life, and I was listening just by accident, I think, but I was interested in radios and in televisions. And somebody is interested in that. I don't know why you become interested in radio. Do you know? I don't. And all of a sudden I was listening to Radio Caroline, Radio London, Radio England, 227, Radio Veronica, but I didn't like Veronica in those days, in 65, 66, I didn't like it. I loved that English. The speaking of English on the station, it sounded better. So I was listening to those stations, and I remember that, that's one thing I remember very profoundly, but I had dreamt one night that I was going to be in radio, and I was going to be on a ship like that. And of course that is bullshit, it's nonsense. Nobody dreams it and does it. But in the start of the 70s, in 69, 70, there was we have in the hospitals, you have a sort of a cable broadcasting per hospital. And it was a large hospital in Amsterdam, it's called Lucas Hospital, who had a very professional, not paid, but very professional in style, radio station, and I applied for a job there, which meant that you had to be there 3 nights in a week on a voluntarily basis, so you weren't paid for that. And I applied there, and I was given a job, and I was given a program, and I given another program, and it went like that. And the people who worked for that radio station, where I became a member from, that very small nucleus that was extremely interested in radio, I went to Hilversum, which is Radio City now. Many times. It's only 20 miles, so what's the trouble? And they went here, they always talked to people of Hilversum 3, which was the official pop radio station, and to people of Veronica. And all of a sudden there was Radio North Sea, which was a new initiative, a new radio station. It had been there in 1970, but in 71 it was taken off the air and taken onto the air again by a Dutch company called Steenhold. And they needed, at a certain point in time, so in May 1971, they needed a newsreader. And because we had good contacts with these people, one of my friends from that small nucleus of radio interested people at the hospital broadcasting system were asked, do you know someone? And they called me. One night, I guess it was Tuesday night, the phone went, I took it up, the guy said, hello, can you quit your job? I said, well, it's just what, I was working freelance, I was doing nothing, it was just earning enough money to live. Can you quit your school? Because I was in a night school by then, and I said, yeah, well, and go like that. Okay, you want to go to the Mabo? Come on, you're bullshitting me. You're pulling my leg. You can't be serious. I'm only working for this company for 4 or 5 months. You can't be serious. And he was serious. The next day I applied for the job. They took me, and 3 days later I was in the middle too. On the high seas, and that dream came true. That dream that I dreamt when I was 15, 16 was true. Now from there it went, that's how far the luck goes. That's, luck goes to that very point when you step on that ship, and then you have to do it. And from that point on, it's just fighting and working very hard.
You are tuned to the shortwave service of Radio Nordsee International on the radio ship Mebo 2 on 6.205 kHz in the 49-meter band.
Vous êtes à l'écoute des émissions broadcast de Radio Nordsee International du bateau Radio Mebo 2 à Nantes dans la mer du Nord. Nous diffusons sous 6205 kHz dans la bande de 49 mètres. Radioschiff Mebo 2 hören Sie den Kurzwellendienst von Radio Nordsee International auf 6205 kHz in 49 Meter Band. U bent afgestemd op de korte golflengte van Radio Nordsee International, die wordt uitgezonden vanaf het radiozender Mebo 2 op 6205 kHz en 49 meter band. Aquí las emisiones de ondas cortas de Radio Norte Internacional, desde el barco transmisor Mebo 2 en el Mar del Norte. Radiamos sobre 6.205 kilociclos a una banda de 49 metros.
It's very hard to describe how life on that boat was. The only memory I have is that it was magnificent, that it was the best time of my life. But when I look back on the days that I'm not a TV director, I hardly do any radio anymore. I just do it as a hobby. Maybe when we get more broadcasting time, I'll pick it up again. But so you have different best times of your life. But looking at radio, that was the best time in my life. And personally, yeah, well, what can I say? Live on a boat with 15 guys. Breathing, eating, drinking, fucking radio. Radio was everything. There was nothing else in your life than radio. When you left the boat after 2 weeks on, for a week, you listened to the station, you went to the studios, you went to other studios, you just thought about radio, talked radio, lived radio. Radio was everything. You ate transistors, as a way of speaking. And that's the way I thought. I guess that a boat like that where you're isolated and you have to do radio 24 hours a day. You have your own program that lasts for 2 hours. You have the news shift that lasts for 6 hours, 7 hours. That's the best school in radio you can get. There's no better school in Europe. In America, okay, that's another question. But in Europe, there's no better school. The school isn't there anymore, and you see that in the quality of broadcasting people. But that's another question. Well, Radio Nordsee was quite another radio station as Radio Veronica. You have to be very, very careful in dividing the two. Radio Nordsee wasn't just another, was a company that was erected and worked just for one thing, money. If you want to run on the high seas, go get it. That's it. And Veronica, who started that way, had in the running of the years become an ideal, become an institution in this country. Not just another radio station, just an institution. Radio Nordsee was very popular, extremely popular. But the opposite of it, reading on your to our listeners, was more of a business-like, friendly but business-like. We didn't have a following that were, in and out of bed with us. Like with Veronica, they were in and out of bed with the people that worked there. They had a very, very strong tie between the radio personnel and the people on the listeners. But mostly we were, and that's right following we attracted more people who liked that. We were more, not distant, but we were more like business-like. Friendly and nice and good radio station. I spoke very much. At times, I think better than more personal and better programmed than Radio Veronica was. But it was quite a different radio station. It didn't have that history over 3 generations. It didn't have people there like Tineke Vos, who's still working here, who had been working there since the 60s, since the first day the station went on the air. She was there. And she was there when they quit. So it's quite another radio station. And Radio Noordzee was there for the money. That's it. And we tried our best to get a license, but it wasn't really serious. Nobody believed that we had a message to the people. Our message was music. That's it. And a good entertaining radio station. And it's like Radio London and Radio Caroline. Caroline went on. They had an ideal. Love and God knows what they all wanted to tell us. I hated that serious, that weekly stuff. But and Radio London was a business station. It was a great radio station, but it was business. And when that day came, that they had to go off the air, they went off the air. That's it. No money to earn. No money to earn. Started it, but stay on the air. Okay, quit it. Go. That's the difference between Noordzee and Veronica. As far as I'm concerned, no radio station on the high seas anymore. I won't listen to it, or it has to be magnificent. But I don't think it will be, because I'm used now to FM stereo. And you can put any AM station on the air today, which is the very physical way of doing a high seas broadcasting ship. And it will not have the sound, the quality, the thickness that an FM station has. And we here in Holland have a perfect FM station, Hilversum 3, which sounds perfect. But even has a new limiting system now, through which it sounds more thick, more pumping. And they have to be bloody good programs on the air to have me listening to that. And there won't be good programs on the air because no real big disc jockeys. With real big, I mean real big, like biggies. They won't be on that shit. Nobody's going to risk his neck. Nobody's going to go out there in 1982. Those days are gone. Those days are past. It's like in Britain, there is a certain audience for a station like that because of the Britons are, involved in nostalgia. They have a more strong feeling for the stuff than Dutch have. But they have their local radio stations, which are, at times very good, at times like Radio Orwell or awful. But awful, they call it. I hardly heard it. The few times I heard it was awful. So I don't think there's a realistic market for a radio station like that. Do I pick them outside? Go try it. I don't really care anymore. Those days are. It's like when the Beatles would come together again, it wouldn't sound. If Radio Caroline, that's it then. If Radio Caroline comes in the air now, it will never sound like it did with Johnny Walker and all the guys in 1967. And that's the memory I have, and that's a memory I'm not going to have broken by now.
Den här sändningen produceras och sponsras av Sveriges Sportförbund. Du som rattar in vårt program och som kanske ännu inte är medlem bör lyssna extra noggrant. Det finns nämligen många anledningar att bli medlem i Sveriges Sportförbund. Och här är något av det som vi erbjuder. Som medlem får du vår tidskrift Interaktuellt, som normalt utkommer 6 nummer per år. Tidningen finns att hämta som pdf från vår webbplats. Och om du har ett medlemskap med tryckt utgåva kommer tidningen dessutom till en brevlåda. Som medlem får du åtkomst till medlemsportalen där du kan hitta en hel del intressant. Bland annat får du tillgång till åtskilliga årgångar av Interaktuellt och du kan lyssna på inspelningar av våra radiosändningar och du missade dem när de gick över etern. Du kan också läsa mottagarrecensioner, titta på QSL, vinklar och bläddra bland inskannade DX-tidningar från förr och mycket annat. Läsarlandet har en radiomässigt underbar anläggning uppe i norr. Jag pratar om på. Där finns flera extremt långa antenner i riktningar som gör att du kan fånga upp mellanvågsstationer från hela världen. Radioanläggningen är inhyst i en tidigare skolbyggnad som nu är inredd med sovplatser för upp till 8 samtidiga radioentusiaster. Antennerna är åtkomliga via de antennfördelare och förstärkare som finns på plats. DX-förbundet hjälper också medlemmar med dåliga mottagningsförhållanden genom att ge tillgång till fjärrlyssning på radiomottagare via din dator. Flera Kiwi-mottagare är utplacerade i landet och du kan via din dator välja att lyssna med en mottagare som är nästan hemma vid för att ge närhetskänsla, eller mottagare uppe i Parkalonpolo som substitut för den Parkalonpolo-resa som inte blivit av. Läs mer om dessa Kiwi-mottagare på vår webbplats. På DX-köp kan du hitta intressant radiolitteratur av allsköns sort. Du kan dessutom få ett bra pris på flera av Sangians radiomottagare via vårt samarbete med importören Nordea. DX-vännerna är en kamratförening som emellanåt arrangerar sammankomster för dem som gillar DX-ing och som vill träffa andra gamla och nya DX-are. Under de senaste åren har träffarna avhållits på kryssningsfartyg i Östersjön. DX-vännerna arrangerar också en aktion med radioprylar i samband med DX-förbundets årsmöte som heter DX-parlamentet. På vår hemsida SDXF.se hittar du mer information om kommande DX-parlament och om hur du kan bli medlem i Sveriges DX-förbund. Välkommen som medlem.
BFBS står i radiosammanhang för British Forces Broadcasting Service. En radiostation avsedd för den brittiska militären som finns lite överallt runt om i världen. 1983 träffade jag stationens chef i Köln i dåvarande Västtyskland. Han heter Dick Norton och bland annat är förflutet som diskjockey på Radio Luxemburg. Antalet platser man sände på hade då minskat.
Yes, it started to shrink quite a bit. We used to be in strange places like Sharjah and Washington, like in Egypt, Libya. I had studios in Benghazi and Tabuk. That all came to an end with the end of King Edward's. And we were thrown out of there, as indeed I imagine the Americans were as well. Then we have Gibraltar. We didn't have water until a few years ago. Then we have Cyprus, the south part of Cyprus, the Greek part of Cyprus. Hong Kong, a small operation in Brunei, just in Malaya more or less. Almost a volunteer set up in Dharan in Nepal, in the Indian continent. And then a little tiny setup, which we sometimes send some to the world, sometimes let volunteers operate in Belize, in South America. And of course, we are sending people to help out the Falkland Islands Broadcasting Service, which is a bit difficult for us because we have to find staff to move out there for 4 months or however long they have to be there. And then we have a home office in London, which provides a certain amount of programming, the kind of programs that we can't do overseas, using well-known personalities, for instance, and that sort of thing, or getting members of parliament in and this kind of thing. And those programs are sent out not only to all the stations I was mentioning, but also to ships of the Royal Navy and various other places. And now we're doing the same thing with television. We send out videotapes to the more remote areas, where they don't have their own videos, like the Falkland Islands. It's a pretty grim lifetime. They're all unaccompanied personnel down there. They haven't got their wives with them and anything. And of course, they haven't got their videotape recorders with them either.
although most of them have them here in Germany. So it's quite a wide spreading operation.
This is BSBS in Germany. It's now 11 o'clock.
The high cost of unemployment was the main theme of Labour's news conference.
It began in July, I think it was, 1945, in the Musikhalle in Hamburg. And it had a gigantic staff, its own orchestra and so on. And it broadcast for several years, from the Musikhalle. And then I think what happened with the normalization of the situation in Germany, the city of Hamburg said, look, we would like to have the Musikhalle back, please. And the military were thinking of moving things west of the Rhine. So this organization wound up in these two buildings here in Marienburg. And as you've seen, they were originally private villas. This one here, I believe, that we're sitting in now, belonged to a man called Hermann Tietz, who started up Hertie and Kaufhof, the big chain stores in Germany. And when the war finished, according to documents I've seen, these were described as two derelict houses on a plot of land. I do know that 3 families were living in the basement of this derelict building. And then they were rebuilt, and first of all they were used as officers' messes and this kind of thing, until our outfit moved in 1954. And we've been here ever since.
But there's no military around here.
No, but there were in those days. Well, there's an RAF station just along the road here at a place called Butzweilerhof, and many units around. And there was even a naval unit around here, which was called the Royal Naval Unit or something like that. So there was a lot of activity at that time. There have been moves or suggestions in recent times that we ought to move somewhere else. I personally have always resisted that because, as you know, Cologne is like Radio City. I mean, not only has Westdeutsche Rundfunk, but it has the external services, Deutschlandfunk and Deutsche Welle, as you know very well. And we're here. And the thing is that if we need freelancers, and we use a lot of freelancers, we borrow them from the Germans, we borrow them from the English service of Deutschlandfunk, Deutsche Welle, Transtal, and they're available. And it's down the road here. And so we've been very happy to stay where we are.
But you have your audience elsewhere.
Yes, we do, but wherever we were, we'd still have audiences a very long way away. When you think that we cover something like 72,000 square kilometers, that is from Holland, in the bottom tip of Holland, round about Maastricht from Innsbruck, up to Berlin. And that's, when we cover a very wide band either side of that, so that we cover wherever our troops are. And so, supposing we move to Düsseldorf, we'd still be an awful long way away from Hanover or from Fallingbos or Münsterlager and all those places up in the northeast.
BSBS fungerar mestadels på FM. I England finns man också på några små mellanvågssändare och på DAB. Men man sänder också via nätet.
Det är tillbaka en brevlåda. Här på programmet med allmän världsradiodagen på Sveriges Fredsförbund. Och denna gång tar jag upp lyssna på stället från vår julsändning den 26 december 2023. Totalt kom det 22 brev och rapporter till Jack Nilsson, vår QSL-manager. Vi fick rapporter från en mängd olika länder. Australien, Belgien, Indien, Lettland, Nederländerna, Ryssland, Tyskland, Ukraina och Österrike. Men den rapport som jag tyckte var mest intressant kom från Chris McElwell i Nya Zeeland. Han hade lyssnat tills 0820 UTC på 9670 kHz som erbjöd Greyline-mottagning av Tyskland och Nya Zeeland just vid den här tidpunkten. Det var alltså ett fall av lyssning i Nya Zeeland och inte via mottagare i Europa. Ricardo är en tredje lyssnare i Finska Lahtis. Jag hoppas att du lyssnar idag. Här kommer i alla fall en hälsning till dig som tack för din rapport. Kari hade använt sig av flera olika